Welcome back to the channel, folks. Mopar Man here, aka Jeremiah. We just got done with another big downpour of rain for the day. We had one overnight, big thunderstorm come in anyway. Luckily this one didn't last all day, and so I'm in the process of getting the engine back in the car. So getting the yard cleaned up. Yard's a mess, especially getting all the engine stuff out of the yard, whatnot, getting it cleaned back up. But I want to show you the progress. My mom was out here helping me earlier, doing what she can, and sometimes when you're in a situation like we are, we don't have a shop or garage or stuff, and I know other YouTube channels or bigger YouTube channels and us talk about, well, when they don't have a shop or a garage, well, a lot of times they have a little bit better settings than I do. So I have to come up with different ways to, improvise, overcome, adapt, kind of like that saying from Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood as the drill sergeant in the Marine Corps. But anyway, so here's what I'm working with. So basically for the newbies, like I said, no shop, no garage, no carport. We're out in the elements. As you can tell, this is Missouri dirt right here. I call it dirt, but it's not really dirt. It's Missouri clay with very little dirt on top and lots of rocks. So every time it rains and there's no grass or weeds or anything to hold it back, it likes to grow rocks. So here's what I'm dealing with. So I came out here before it rained, took the broom, swept out most of the rocks that could possibly catch under the wheels with all the weight being on it. There's very little like chat that we've got here. The bigger rocks that either are embedded and are waiting to pop up out of the ground here after some time. But the worst part about this engine hoist is these two little back wheels. I'm going to try to modify something so it brings the back up a little bit, and but anyway, they like to turn and do all kinds of stuff under weight, and they are a real pain. So a lot of times I got to take a breaker bar and smack them. I keep them oiled up, the little axle shaft in there and the pivoting part. I always try to keep that oiled up so that it's not dragging or catching or whatever. But anyway, so in order to get, it was going to be impossible because it was back off over here and these back wheels was dragging through, which was already somewhat wet dirt / clay. And you kind of see the drag mark over there, and there was kind of a one over here. But anyway, luckily for me, quite a while back, I bought 3 or 4 of these 500-pound max capacity a piece come along straps. So basically what I had to do is bring it over here, anchor it to the front of the truck on this, what do they call this? Ranch hand bumper that came with the truck when my folks bought it. And then the other one is back underneath there, attached to the frame and underneath the car. And so what I would have to do is make sure this strap here is straight with that one as you ratchet strap it. And I would ratchet strap a certain spot and get stopped, come over here, ratchet strap the other side the same way. Once I got to a stopping point, I would undo the ratchet, take the slack out, and keep inching it over and over. As you can see, I went from here all the way over here, and I'm about a foot, maybe a foot, a little bit more than a foot away from the engine being completely directly in the middle. But yeah, that's the type of stuff that we go through here on this channel. And luckily, even though we had rain the past, well, most of yesterday was no rain, but the day before we had a thunderstorm. But luckily underneath the vehicles, we didn't have a bunch of rain where it just saturated underneath the vehicles, because it's still dry underneath the pickup truck and it's still quite dry underneath the car. So that helped out, especially with the front wheels, so the front wheels wouldn't be digging into the dirt and the clay and whatnot. That's pretty well compacted down. So my goal is to get the engine dropped down in today and bolted up, and I'll have that concrete block down in there once the engine's bolted up, and I'll use some other stuff to support the back of the engine without crushing the oil pan. And I got some wooden blocks and whatnot. If I need to, I'll use a I got this old wore out zip up hoodie. I'll fold it over in layers and lay it up on top so the paint and all that stuff don't get scratched up. But there's that. I've got the transmission up here up on these concrete blocks. Like I said, you got an improvise. It just barely weebles and wobbles, but anyway, got it all cleaned up a couple weeks back. I got to go over to the factory one over there and pull off the neutral safety switch with the one prong, and put that in this place because they do interchange. I will have to get a set of lines from I don't know if I should go with the since it's a 70s 720 or 7904 or geez 70s 904 automatic transmission. I don't know if I should go with the 70s transmission lines from inline tube, or if I should go with the 65. Maybe you can tell me in the comments section. I didn't have to well, you know what, I'll just get a set of 65s because that'll just bolt up to the factory radiator, and then I can, if I need to, I'll rebend the lines for these fittings. But anyway, I've got in the car here, I've got the now I said in the car, anyway, I've got the transmission seals, front and rear, brand new. I got from O'Reilly's. They're around here somewhere. But anyway, I'll be replacing those. I'll take the torque converter out in order to do this front seal, and I'm going to repaint the face of the torque converter. And then because once I get I'll do the back of I'll do the backing plate, the flex plate too, and then that way once the torque converter is bolted to the flex plate, I'll do a quick little spray of paint to shows where it lines up on the torque converter in case the transmission ever has to come back out again. But anyway, once the I'm gonna do in the next video, I'm gonna attempt to do like Uncle Tony's Garage said to do. We got a gigantic what is it, 12-inch or 12 or 15-inch wide excuse me, plank of wood that's that wide, and it's about almost 2-inch thick, and it's probably at least 12 feet long, 10 to 12 feet long. He said to get the transmission under there and then put the plank of wood under there and get the transmission on the plank of wood, and then slowly start lifting the front of the plank up and adding blocks and stuff like that to get the get it like a ramp effect to where the angle of the transmission goes up, and then you can bring the block down and you can join the two together without having to get underneath there and fight it. Because what I've had to do before is I've had the vehicle up on engine or jack stands or ramps like those over there, and roll a little roll around floor jack underneath there and get the transmission teeter-tottering on that and try to lift it up. That's been a pain in the butt. So we're going to put Uncle Tony's one-man transmission install method to work. I believe it'll work, but we'll document it. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know, since I haven't done a video or two for a while, that we're definitely making some progress, and you've seen the other pictures and whatnot I've posted on the internet. And I got to do some touch-up paint on this. It's got some chips out of the fresh paint. I finally got the intake. I guess this is a 1 year only 1960 aluminum one-barrel intake from the factory. So that's going on there. So yeah, everything's mostly stock. That's the way we want this car. And stay tuned for more. Till next time.